The Philippines is now officially a digital payments nation. Latest data from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas shows digital payments now account for over 53% of all retail transactions, a huge leap from just 1% a decade ago. And as QR codes and e-wallets and real-time transfers go mainstream, digital banks like GoTyme, now with over 6.5 million users, are driving the shift from the fringes to the financial core. So how close are we to a fully cashless economy, and what will it take to get the rest of the country on board? Joining us now to talk more about this is GoTyme's Co-CEO Abet Tinio. Hi, Abet. Thank you for being here with us.
Hello, Mikey. Happy to be here.
Okay, going back to the figures we just mentioned, the BSP says we've crossed the 53% threshold for majority urban digital retail payments. That's a huge leap from 1% just a decade ago. What's driving this momentum?
Certainly very good numbers, no? Driving the momentum, actually it started a little bit with the realization from Filipinos during the pandemic that, hey, we can go digital. We don't have to go physical. Then there's also a realization that, hey, I can bring transactions from what we used to call offline to online and then back to offline. But that said, personally, I don't believe there will be a truly, totally cashless state. I think we're in a transition phase right now where we're going from full cash to less cash or cash light before possibly cashless.
Interesting. No one is really 100% cashless anyway. Sweden is the global front runner here, but they're just at 90%. Now that change, going back to the Philippines, that change that we're seeing on the ground in how Filipinos handle money, going digital, is that, are those pandemic era habits that stuck, or is this a major structural shift?
Certainly you have pandemic habits that stuck, but you also see people backsliding, if you want to call it that, reverting to some of their cash habits, not necessarily bad. Leading this habit of going digital are actually the younger generation, right? Higher propensity to go digital, very digitally literate, financially literate as well.
Yeah, they've been more exposed to this.
Absolutely.
I mean, our generation, the older generations, cash was a tradition, but it's a dying tradition. Abet, compared to our neighbors in Southeast Asia, how far along are we in going digital? Are we catching up? Are we still lagging behind? Where do we stand?
Well, you'll be surprised to hear that Philippines is actually among the top in Southeast Asia. If we focus in on, let's say, point-of-sale transactions or POS in the lingo, Philippines actually ranks number 2 after Indonesia.
Yeah.
And then we're in the top 3 when it comes to the use of buy now, pay later or credit, next to Singapore and Malaysia. So we are keeping pace with our neighbors. Kudos actually to the e-wallets for making it easier for Filipinos to open accounts, and the regulators for standardizing the use of QRPH as a means to deploy and accept payments.
Well, one of the biggest promises of digital banking is financial inclusion. How do we make that real, especially in the remote, far-flung areas of the country?
Perfect question. You know, financial inclusion, again, in my view, having an account or access does not equal usage. So while Filipinos are quickly opening up accounts and institutions are making it easy to open accounts, to fully embrace financial inclusion and to fully be included, it means the account has to be used. The means by which to use the account must be simplified, must be tailor-fit or made bespoke to behavioral cues. No? You don't make it difficult for a merchant to get a loan. You don't make it difficult for a consumer to pay digitally.
In this space, do you think the BSP is progressive enough? And how does it rank compared to our Southeast Asian regulators?
Oh, certainly. Personally, I feel the BSP, our BSP is progressive compared to its Southeast Asian regulators. No, where I think the total government needs to step in is, even if the BSP is progressive, there are other parts of government that may be lagging behind. So let's take the case of, let's say, a sari-sari store owner or a small scale industry. BSP will provide regulation, policy that makes it easier for them to open accounts. But then, will the LGU provide incentives for sari-sari store owners to open more
So you're saying we need a good
etc.
symphony of coordination across the broader government structure.
Perfect use of the word symphony there.
Okay, for CEOs and CFOs watching, what's the strongest business case for ditching cash beyond speed? What's the real value?
Speed is absolutely on the top there, no? But if you ditch cash, benefits like security or electronic recording that can keep very good records, very detailed records, right? There's also convenience, which also, of course, leads to speed. From both a business perspective and a consumer perspective, a good marriage of convenience and let's say necessary friction to make it safe and secure. I think that's what will push. More of these businesses to expand if it becomes easy for them.
Yeah. From your lens at GoTyme, how do you see the B2B side of digital payments evolving? From supplier chains to payroll to even credit, what opportunities are you guys chasing in this industry?
Okay, certainly one of the things that we're really into with GoTyme right now is actually payroll. In the Philippines, we don't have a single law that says your payroll account is portable, right? A lot of our employees move from employer to employer, where the employer actually mandates the payroll account. An employee who gets to choose his payroll account can build a history of credit, a history of transactions that can lead to the inclusion that you're talking about. Making employers, both employers and employees, realize this and choosing an account that will offer the benefits across his entire career, I think that's going to be a game changer. You don't have to look far. Just take a look at our Southeast Asian neighbors.
Yeah, speaking of more game changers, in terms of policy, what does the fintech sector need most from the government right now? Is it, apart from the interoperability and the symphony that you were talking about earlier, what about the infrastructure, faster approvals? What do you really need to really grow this industry?
Okay. 52% or 53%, you said, are into digital payments. There's still a gap of 48% hard to open accounts. Where we've made strides actually now is in national ID. If you look at our sister company in South Africa, the Time Bank, very quick to open because of that national ID. I think while the national ID has expanded in multiple forms, we still need to get citizens, businesses, local regulators, local government units to accept and understand this ID. That could be your single source of truth across institutions, across industries, to say that, hey, Abet Tinio is Abet Tinio, Mikey is Mikey.
All right. On another front, talking about security and scale, you've got 6.7 million users as of today. As volumes grow, so does risk. What are you guys doing to mitigate the risks?
GoTyme would not have gotten its digital banking license if we didn't meet at least the minimums required by the BSP. Now, that said, do we stop there? We stay ahead of the trend. You take a look at what's current in the industry. We're very much into the use of AI and leveraging AI as a tool to help us complement the capabilities of our employees, complement the capabilities of our cybersec team.
You launched this in October of 2022. It's a fast-growing digital bank. 6.7 million users today. Your growth target, what's your growth target for the full year of 2025?
We're on track to hit a little over 9 million by the end of the year.
Okay, what does that say about where we are now and where we're headed in the second half?
That's saying that there's really a lot of demand. Filipinos are looking for differentiators. Filipinos are very much interested. While it's starting with the urban areas, it is actually moving to the rural areas. We cannot let up. We have to keep pace with technology and learn from the lessons that our neighbors actually have.
What's the next big frontier in digital banking? Is it embedded finance, cross-border payments, AI-assisted savings? What's next? What's big? What's next?
Everything you said. Definitely cross-border, definitely AI getting into this, but not just AI for the use of AI, right? Principled AI, if I may.
Yeah, principled AI. I like that. All right, thank you so much, Abet Tinio, the co-CEO of GoTyme Philippines.
Thank you, Mikey.